how did this production begin, or where did this whole thing come from?
It came from a dinner actually, where a bunch of people were complaining about not being able to raise equity and raise financing, and so a few of us at the table were like, "Why don't we pull together what we have in our pocket right now, and we're going to make 3 movies based on that, and we'll shoot each one in a day." So it came out of kind of like a challenge with a bunch of friends and a bunch of kind of queer filmmakers over a dinner, bemoaning not being able to get financing for their projects. So that's where it came from.
Okay. And how did you go into this thinking, I really want to tell a story with like not very much dialogue? I mean, there's speaking in it, but it's not actually dialogue, between two people.
Yeah, no, it's I make my living as a screenwriter, TV writer, and so it was fun to not have dialogue in a way, and to kind of like, we shot listed it. We knew we had, I think 10 hours total to shoot the whole thing. So we shot listed the heck out of it so that we'd have time to do that. And yeah, I felt like the only thing that I really needed to hear him say, like as an actor, was that I love you. And so I knew that it was built around that. And then, so it was fun to do that.
Okay, so you call your actor, you give them the idea, and then you say you're going to be nude half the time. How do they react to that?
They, I mean...
Or maybe that was his idea.
No, it was kind of, it was discovered kind of, probably about a week before we did it. We were kind of like, how do we want to talk about this? And how do we want... I think the idea came out of that I feel like I have a lot of young, queer friends who, they have a lot of sex, but they're very terrified of intimacy. And so it was kind of an exploration of that, like that actually the most dangerous thing that happens between these two characters is that they fall in love, actually. So it's not the sex in a way. So it's kind of, but I felt like we also needed to see that. And I felt like, because I think that like the thing that most people have a problem with queer people is that they fuck. And so I was like, we're gonna show that in a very honest way. And so that became part of it, that's a huge part of the relationship, and it's what they hide from as well. So I thought visually you needed to see it and then not see it in a way.
Okay, so I mean, you've explained the importance of the intimacy in the story. Can you explain to us logistically what shooting intimacy scenes looks like? The conversations that happen before, during, the choreography.
Like, I let the actors kind of control it in a way. Like, I come in with a really strong idea, and then I kind of check in with each of them, both together and then individually, and go like, where are you at with this? Like, what are you good with? I knew very clearly what Carey, who's kind of the darker hair guy, what he was good with and what Tyler was good with, and we kind of discovered it together. And also I was very, very specific about how we would shoot each section of it so that they knew what they were getting into. And also like, I think we also laughed a lot about it. Like it was kind of like, we joked a lot. Like it was a lot of like jokes, and it was kind of fun and funny. Like I don't know, it was pretty chill actually.
I think that's the attitude that you should probably have.
I think you need to have that.
Yes, certainly. And the film takes place all over Los Angeles. How did you pick these locations?
That they were close to the apartment because we only had 10 hours. So, I mean, honestly, a lot of it was like, okay, cool, I know Akbar's nearby, I know the manager, I know they'll give it to us for free. I know I really wanted, there were like, there's a lot of friends kind of that influenced this. So I wanted little pieces of that in there. So like American Cinematheque is in there for a reason. And so it was mostly just that it was close to the apartment we shot in.
Okay.
Because I knew that we didn't have much time to get in a car and go anywhere.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So funny. Do you know Trevor Dow?
I know of, yeah.
Of course you do. I was like, this was like his life. Akbar, the
Lovell,
Okay. Such a small world. Music plays almost the whole thing. Can you tell us what it's like working with a composer?
I love David. I've worked with David on a lot of different size budget things and a lot of different projects. I really trust him. I I kind of just handed it to him. It was like, come up with something. You know, I want you to have a voice in this. I don't want to dictate it to you. So we just went back and forth a lot. There was a lot of kind of give and take about where the music would be, and there's times I watch it that I'm like, oh fuck, it's overscored, and then there's times I watch it and I'm like, oh, you know, so like I have a different relationship to it every time I watch it.
Okay.
But I love David immensely, and I feel like this score is very much character between the two in a way.
Sure. And so when you say you gave him a lot of free reign, he makes something, he brings it back to you. You know, is there like a process of how you need things changed, or are you just happy with what he delivers you?
It depends. You know, I think that he kind of, what he does is it's almost like he shares like secrets. Like he like sends kind of emails at like 2 a.m. and he's like, this is a little something I'm thinking about, but listen to this. Where does this live? And then we have a conversation about it. And so it's very much a relationship and conversation, and but also, I mean, I think he knows so much more about music than I do. Like, I would be an idiot to go like, yeah, well, I think it should be, I mean, I can't play the piano, I can't do, you know, he's an amazing musician and songwriter, and so I really trust him, and I trust his heart, and I trust his taste, and also his music comes out of character, always, so I really trust him, which is good.
And then final question, is there something that you learned about yourself or about the process while making this piece?
Always, like, what would... I think that you don't need, you know, like, I mean, from this project on, we shot this like last October. So I made a promise to myself that I would shoot and make something every single week from that point forward, and I have. And so and most of it no one will ever see, you know? So it's like, but just, I was like, you've got to be shooting, you've got to be making stuff, and then nothing is kind of, especially with phones and with everything we have now at our disposal, like nothing is in our way except ourselves, in a way. So I feel there's always a story you can make for $5. So it's, you know, so that's what I took from that.
It's pretty inspiring. Any questions from the audience? Question here?
Hi. Well, first and foremost, thank you for doing what you did.
Thank you.
Obviously, there was a lot of visual storytelling, but one thing that you mentioned is getting to the point of "I love you" being like a big focal point there. But the second was, I think, in terms of the audible storytelling, the voicemail.
Yeah.
Coming over and over again to where, you know, when he's going on a run and then, you know, taking off the AirPods and all that. How did you go about allowing that to be kind of the thing that carries the whole story? Being able to decide that this audible media is going to be the thing that carries you throughout the whole film.
I think it's like the last piece he has of him, you know? It's like, I think like, it's the thing that, I think the final thing in every relationship is kind of what haunts you in that relationship. So I think like the last time they made love and the last time he heard his voice is probably what haunted him. So I thought of it like a ghost in a way. And like, I know that's been for me, you know, I know like when my first husband and I split up, like after 10 years, like it definitely, the thing that haunted me was the last message he left for me, you know, and I actually still have it, which is very crazy. And we're friends now, we're good, but I still have that fucking message. I think at least once a year, I will be like in an airport somewhere and be like, fuck man, and like play it. And it still haunts my ass. And like, so I think it came out of that in a way. And, you know, it's funny when someone embeds themselves inside you, like whether you're heterosexual or gay or queer, whatever the fuck you are. We all have those relationships where that person embeds spiritually inside you, and you just can't let go of like the physical aspects of that. And so I feel like for me that's this phone message, and for, you know, my brother who just had shit with his wife, it was a whole different thing. And, you know, so like so yeah, like I just thought of it like, oh God, what would haunt this kid? And he'd have to keep listening to it obsessively, and, you know, how long did it take to actually get through the whole thing? And I also wanted to sound like kids. Like, I feel like when you're 20, you know, you say stupid shit, and now I would look back on it and be like, God, why did I say that? I meet him in Palm Springs and kiss this fucking guy. You know, like, I was like, you know, so like, but I wanted it to sound young and to feel young and to feel like this shit that we kind of think is so profound that we say when we're 20, that when you're 40, you're kind of jaded and bitchy about. And so, you know, so I wanted it to sound like 17, 20-year-old speech, and to be a little kind of twee in a way, you know, like a little bit like, oh God, that's what I said at the end of that shit, you know. So sometimes I hear it and I cringe a little bit, and I think that's good. So, yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you guys. Oh, no, sorry, go ahead, please.
What are the other two short films?
The what?
The other two short films.
They're two films. I produced both of them. It's one is called Unknown at Large, and it's a horror short. It's kind of this crazy thing where this kid is listening to a podcast after a bad breakup, and the podcast starts to become very real and more real and more real until he gets brutally slaughtered. It's like totally queer horror. And the other is called Like Lightning, which is kind of this strange, almost like painting. It's very experimental. It's kind of a breakup in a lightning storm, and it's actually lit by real lightning. So you just see kind of this whole dissolve of a relationship lit by lightning. And at one point, the lightning happens and like no one else is in the room, and it's really beautiful. It's like so. And he shot it in Georgia, and we shot it over FaceTime. And I was like, I think you should go do this, you know. So we're like trying to be on FaceTime, figuring it out with the lightning. It was fun. So yeah.
Anyone else? All right, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys.